All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking about some legendary business moves today.
Some real impactful decisions.
The decisions that didn't just make a little blip on the radar,
Right.
they sent shockwaves through their whole industries.
Exactly.
And we're going to figure out how they did it
Yes.
with a few books to help us along the way.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at Fortune, the greatest business decisions of all time.
Love that book.
I know, right? Such a good one.
So good.
We're also going to be pulling from Mastering the Rockefeller Habits.
Classic.
We've got Scaling Up and even Scaling Up Compensation.
Oh, there's some real gems in there.
So get ready to take some notes, folks, because we are going deep. And we are going to start with a concept I think a lot of you are going to be familiar with, the power of doing things differently.
Yes.
It's about being counterintuitive.
It's about zigging when everyone else zags.
Exactly. And this book, The Greatest Business Decisions, it emphasizes that a lot of the most successful business moves,
Yeah.
they went against the grain, they went against what everybody else was saying.
Totally.
And you know what? They seem kind of risky.
For sure. For sure.
And some of you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm not running some huge company.
Right.
Why do I care about this?
Right. What's in it for me?
But this is the thing. Thinking differently, that is valuable in any field.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about looking at the assumptions that you make in your own work
Yes.
and being open to those big, bold moves that other people might miss.
I love that.
Like Zappos, for example.
Oh, Zappos. Great example.
Back in 1999,
Okay.
they made a decision that seemed crazy at the time.
What was that?
They offered free shipping both ways
Really?
for orders and returns.
Wow.
I mean, talk about a bold move.
That's wild, especially back then.
Right. 1999, that was unheard of.
What was the thinking there?
Well, they weren't just thinking about shipping, right?
Okay.
They used this to actually build their brand. And now they are known for having, like, the best customer service.
Right, right.
That is their thing.
It's genius, really.
So think about that. No matter what size your business is, what is that one thing that you can do differently
Right.
that none of your competitors are doing
Yeah.
that would really make you stand out from the crowd?
I love it.
Zappos, they focused on a really unique value proposition.
They did.
Even if it meant that they had to pay a little bit more up front.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
It did.
Big time.
Huge.
What else is so great about Zappos?
What's that?
They flipped the script.
How so?
Instead of focusing just on profits,
Yeah.
they actually decided to focus on making their customers happy
Really put the customer
first. And then guess what? The profits, they followed.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a great example of how putting your people first, customers and employees, that leads to success.
Absolutely.
Speaking of companies that really get that,
Yeah.
let's talk about Hewlett-Packard.
HP?
HP. I mean, talk about company culture.
The best.
Yeah. And we're not just talking about, like, bringing your dog to work
Right.
or, getting free snacks.
Sure. Yeah.
This is about the deeply ingrained values.
Right.
That shared sense of purpose that you get in every level of the company.
Totally. Yeah.
And that's the HP way.
Exactly.
It wasn't about the founder saying, you have to do this and you have to do that.
Right. It's more about guidelines than rules.
It was about fostering trust and respect
Right.
and empowering people.
I love that.
One of the key takeaways here is that HP, they understood how important it was to empower their employees.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see it in how they make decisions,
Okay.
how they solve problems. They encourage their employees to take ownership
Yeah.
and to make decisions, even if it meant going against the grain.
That's huge.
I love that.
It is really cool.
So HP's success,
Yeah.
can we boil it down to that trust in their employees?
I think so.
That willingness to just let them run with their ideas.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that's right.
And that trust,
Yes.
it's not just some like feel-good management tactic.
Yeah.
It's so important when things get tough.
Absolutely.
Like when a company's facing a really difficult decision, think about layoffs.
Yeah, those are tough.
Yeah, really tough.
How do you even begin to
Make those
that?
decisions.
Yeah.
But a strong company culture,
Yeah.
it can really help make those calls
It's true. Yeah.
and to make them ethically,
Yeah.
humanely.
It's not just about the bottom line.
The book actually had this really powerful example
Oh, yeah.
with Tata Steel.
Okay. Yeah.
They were facing those really tough choices, but
Yeah.
they handled it in this really interesting way.
I see. So how'd they do that?
And this is where I think Mastering the Rockefeller Habits comes in. You know, that strong culture rooted in these very clear values, It acts like a compass.
It guides you.
It guides you, exactly.
Especially when it's hard to see the way forward.
So Tata Steel,
Yeah.
they have this really deep commitment
Okay.
to their workers
Right.
and their community.
Makes sense.
So even during layoffs,
Yeah.
they have provided all this support,
Really? Like what?
like job training programs,
Wow.
financial counseling.
Trying to help people land on their feet.
Exactly. Get back on their feet.
That's amazing.
Help starting new businesses.
Really?
They went so far above any kind of severance package.
It's more than just a paycheck, right?
Yeah, it was about taking care of people.
I love that.
It wasn't about, we have to cut these people. How cheaply can we do it?
They really stuck to their values.
And that, I think, is a really important lesson. Because
Yeah.
what did we learn from scaling up?
Let me guess. Long-term vision.
That's exactly it. You're good at this. It's so easy to get caught up in what's happening right now.
Totally.
The quarterly earnings reports,
Sure.
short-term
None of the
pressures.
daily stuff.
But the leaders who make these really impactful decisions,
Yeah.
they're thinking long-term,
Years ahead.
decades even.
Absolutely.
Bill Gates,
Okay, yeah.
he gets it.
What did he do? Think Rex. Think weeks. What are those?
He would twice a year
Yeah.
go totally off the grid.
No phone, no email.
No, nothing
Wow.
to just read and think
About the future.
about the future. Yeah.
I like it.
Sounds kind of nice, actually.
Right. Sign me up.
But it was crucial to Microsoft's success.
Really?
It sounds indulgent, but
There was a method to the madness.
exactly.
So how did it work?
He was stepping back from the day-to-day
Okay.
so he could actually think big picture.
I see.
And he would spot these trends,
Yeah.
think about the future of technology,
Yeah.
and then come back with these game-changing ideas.
Wow. So he would step back
Mm-hmm.
to get ahead,
Work on the business.
not just in it.
Exactly.
Love that.
And,
Yeah.
you don't need to be Bill Gates to do this.
Right.
You don't need to take a whole week,
Yeah.
take an hour a week, even
You
just
did the think.
to disconnect.
Yeah. I can do that.
Think strategically.
That's a good idea.
It can make a big difference.
I believe it.
And that brings us to
Oh, yeah. What's that?
the book Scaling Up itself.
Okay. Yeah.
It gives us this really practical framework
For what?
for actually systematizing all these great decisions,
Okay.
especially for a company that's growing.
Growing. Right.
Yeah, because it's not enough to have a great idea.
You gotta know what to do with it.
You have to bring that idea to life.
It's about execution.
And what Sailing Up really emphasizes
Yeah.
is this need to align every single aspect of your business.
Like what?
Your people,
Okay.
your strategy,
Mm-hmm.
the execution part, obviously,
Right.
and then the cash flow.
Gotta keep the lights on.
That's the thing.
It all matters.
And it all has to work together.
Like a well-oiled machine.
A well-oiled machine, exactly.
I like that.
But there's one thing in Scaling Up that really struck me, and they talk more about it in Scaling Up Compensation.
Okay.
It's how they reframe compensation entirely.
Really?
It's not just about,
yeah.
here's your benefits, here's your salary.
Right.
It's about seeing that compensation
Yeah.
as a strategic investment.
In your people.
Exactly.
Interesting. I like that.
It's not just about writing a bigger check every month.
Right. It's about more than that.
It's about building a system.
Yeah. Yeah. A system for what?
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
That's transparent.
Makes sense.
And that's really aligned with your values.
With your values. Okay.
And Scaling Up Compensation.
Yeah.
They actually talk about building a good job strategy.
Okay. What's that? A good job strategy.
It's about making a workplace where people feel valued,
Oh.
respected, and rewarded,
For sure.
and for the work that they're doing.
That makes them feel good.
Exactly. And that's something,
That literally any business can strive for.
yeah, I agree.
It doesn't matter how big or small you are.
You don't have to be a huge company to do that.
It's about creating that win-win
Okay, yeah.
where employees feel valued, they're motivated,
Right.
they want to do great work,
They're bought in.
and then that drives the business forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
And everybody wins.
It's like we were saying before.
Yeah.
Long-term vision, right.
It all comes back to that.
Investing in your people.
It's good for business.
It's good for everyone, really.
So we're wrapping up
Yeah.
this deep dive, a lot of information.
Lots of great stuff.
What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember? I think the big takeaway here is that, we see these companies making these huge decisions, these game-changing moves.
Right.
They weren't just like, throwing darts at a board.
Right.
They planned it out.
Okay.
They really understood their customers, their own values, and they were
Excellent.
willing to think differently.
It's about being bold, but it's also being smart.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
business, it's about people.
It's about people. It is.
Building something you're proud of.
Yes, something that makes a difference in the world.
Exactly.
That's what we want you to go out and do, right?
That's it.
So tell us,
Yeah.
what really resonated with you today?
What are you going to do?
What bold moves are you thinking about?
Let us know.
Hit us up on platform.
We want to hear from you.
We'll be back next time with another deep dive.
See you then.